Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. I had said last week that today's talk would be on the true nature of reality, which it will, but as I considered through the week what exactly is the true nature of reality, it is probably a bit beyond anyone's level to, what I want to say is I'm not going to promise you that what I tell you today is the absolute truth of the true nature of reality. It will be a perspective of the true nature of reality given the data that we have available right now. For today's talk on the true nature of reality, the more I consider it, the more difficult it is to really say what the true nature of reality is. I mean, there's only one thing that I can really tell you for sure that is the true nature of reality. Once we go beyond that, it gets much more difficult. And we are, of course, told that, and it is true, that we cannot actually know Allah in His essence. So the actual, only absolute true nature of reality that exists, is, what do we know about Allah? Because I just want to mention an odd thing here. If anyone knows this ayat from the Quran, which is, I don't know the name of it because I don't know what number 17 is, 1785, and it is, "The spirit concerns only my Lord, the knowledge of which only a little is communicated to you." Now, there are scholars who want to say that, of course, Allah has told us, don't bother to look into my nature because it is unknowable. Okay? So as I tell you the true nature of existence, I'm not going to be telling you what Allah's nature is, because we could hardly disagree with Allah that it is unknowable. But this statement that I just read, it is I think really, this is quite odd. "The spirit concerns only my Lord, the knowledge of which only a little is communicated to you." And then, now I mean I know I'm reading this in English, but if it says the same thing in Arabic that it says in English, I wonder why, right after saying this, I read scholar after scholar who says, therefore, to look into this area, the spirit and the spirit world and paradise, is forbidden to us, where I don't see it being forbidden to us at all to look into. That what we are told is, we'll only know a little bit of it. But when you consider that Allah's knowledge of everything is infinite, the question of what a little bit is in relationship to infinity is a little bit hard to fathom. So I go on the assumption that Allah has left us with the option of learning as much as we can. And in general, my approach, which I haven't specifically mentioned before, but where I'll be coming from when I talk about what is the true nature of our reality, I take the approach that the data of Western science is really good. That in the past it had not been very good. We have reached a quite sophisticated level of acquiring data now in what is called Western science. Unfortunately, we don't have that much Islamic science yet. And in Islam, we ignore a lot of that data because we don't separate the data from the interpretation. And as long as you are interpreting good data with a wrong philosophical interpretation, which is essentially materialist science, of course you're going to come up with great errors. So people then want to attack science as its data. But I think the data is really good. So the approach I take is, unless there's good evidence otherwise, I will accept the data of the moment as the best look that I can get of the nature of existence or of Allah's creation. And I've said this in the past couple of talks, and I want to say it again. I want to probably say it in every talk, because I think this is absolutely critical, and this is why I am giving these talks, not because I want to just tell you, like today, it isn't just that I want to tell you what I think the true nature of our existence is, but because I think the fact that when Allah told us that He has given us two Quran, and that we are to read them in a balance, and if we don't read them in a balance, we won't understand the religion He has given us, and our practice of it will go badly. I think this is one of the keys to why things have gone badly. And we have focused on the physical book, the Quran, given to our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We have just ignored the signs of Allah's creation. We just don't look at it. And as I read books on what it really takes to fully be Muslim, it appears that we need to have a whole lot of objective data, and we are to reflect on that data in a way that is very close. We don't really have the word to describe it, but the word contemplation is used. But it isn't contemplation in the sense of like many Eastern religions want to get you to contemplate and become unaware of the physical world around you and contemplate only on the non-physical. But in Islam, the idea of this contemplation is to become fully aware of the actual that is there. This is why I want today to talk about the true nature of reality. So, we start with Allah. Now, Allah is eternal, so Allah had no beginning. Many questions arise, such as the nature of the physical existence or creation. You know, the very word creation is a time-based word. So it was at the time of Al-Ghazali, when he was arguing against particularly Ibn Sina, and wrote a book called The Incoherence of the Philosophers, because he felt Ibn Sina was too influenced by Western philosophy, and particularly the early Greek philosophers. Ibn Sina had said that there had never been Allah without creation. Now, we know that Allah is not His attributes. Like you put all of Allah's attributes together, and that is not the Tawheed of Allah. Allah has an essence that is other than His attributes. I don't want to say separate from, but other than. One of His attributes is creation. And we know that Allah exists outside of time. So the question becomes, how does a being who is outside of time start creation? Or when does a being who is outside of time start creation or start creating? If one of the attributes is to create.